Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here with She Cruises. She Cruises is a community for women who love to cruise, and I'm sharing my experiences with you, my own feelings about cruising, and give you some tips and tricks on packing and just how to approach a cruise in a positive way. People cruise for different reasons, and some people just cruise to have a lot of fun and just go out there and relax. Others go for more reflective and life-changing meanings. Sometimes women cruise for celebrating milestones, perhaps a divorce or that beautiful transition into your 50s and 60s. A cruise is like it kind of puts you in a capsule of, I don't know, just reflectiveness for me. Now, I actually was raised in Canada. I was raised in North Bay, Ontario, which is way north of Toronto and a very beautiful part of the country. And I remember my brothers and I, we lived right on the lake in a very tiny little house. And behind us, there was a creek that ran from the back of our house into the lake. And we used to build little rafts and make these sort of excursions on river rafts. My first river cruise into the lake, and then we'd go swimming. But for me, the water has always held that kind of magic, and I really, in fact, it's why I started She Cruises, because I thought as you get a little older, especially, women just want some more purpose and passion in their lives. And you kind of go back to your childhood sometimes. You think about what things you might have wanted to do when you were younger, and then you get to do them. So anyway, as things happen in life and our paths, could have crossed, my brothers and stayed in the States, and I moved around. I lived all over the place. I traveled a lot before I had my children in my 30s, and I really, I'm so happy that personally that I did that. I love trains. I love traveling by train, but the sea has this magic for me. And I look back right now at my life, full of journeys, and some of the most amazing highlights are the cruises that I've taken. I don't, I don't stay too long. Of course, with a cruise, you're in a place for one day, but then you can go back. But I don't go to gather stuff. I go to gather experience, and I go to gather, things that I've learned. So when on these videos with She Cruises, I want to talk about that, what I've learned on a cruise rather than what I have done particularly. But, I have very few things to remind me of cruises. I collect postcards. That's my big thing. And I actually send myself postcards. And on the back, I say, welcome home. And I always come home to a little stack of postcards, and I love that. But I travel to really reestablish my connection with people and to reinforce my love and just my belief in humanity. The world is in such a crazy state right now that we have to find ways wherever we can to feel connected to others, to our sisters and brothers around the world. And it takes a special kind of courage. I really do think that's true. And, it's easy to stay in one place, but when you step out there and you go to a country that you've never been to, and you're totally at the not the mercy, but well, in a way you are, but at the love of people, strangers that you meet, it's really important. And for me, kindness on the road is a different kind of kindness, especially on a cruise. Now, I just got back from a Norwegian cruise. It was a kind of adventure cruise with Hurtigruten, and I met some amazing people. We had our dinners were seated. You could just eat when you liked, but they had seated dinners in the evening, and we had the same to 8 people around the table. And by the end of that cruise, honestly, I've got goosebumps thinking about it. I really felt like I got to know them. That they were people that I liked. They weren't people like me necessarily. We didn't do the same things or have the same hobbies. In fact, some of the things people did were just remarkable. And it was just that special kindness that we showed each other. And the older men, for example, were just wonderful. I mean, not that you have to sort of set these kind of stereotypes and like you should look this way or do this, but people were kind. I mean, I remember we were always going up on the deck to look for the Northern Lights, and we did see them. It was amazing. But we went up every night. We got our boots on, and they would announce, there's a sighting on the port side or starboard, and people were holding each other up. I mean, literally, because it was so windy and cold, and people were literally huddling together to kind of take pictures if they could, but also just to hold each other and keep each other from falling over. A number of times someone saved me, but including my friend Kathleen, but it was really a lot of fun. But anyway, I love those moments of friendship where you just meet new people, and that's what the cruising for me is partially all about. Another thing that I love about cruising is those wow moments with big eyes that you see, oh my gosh, look at that. And whether it's just seeing a whole group of sea eagles flying over you, or see it coming into port in Malta and seeing the exquisite beauty, or, an island arrival in Greece where you hear the sounds and smell the scent of the sea before you even land on dock. It's really, really lovely. I just love those wow moments, and I think those for me are why I enjoy being with children too, and young people, still feeling enthralled and excited by life. Another thing I love about cruising is seeing the creativity and the amazing beauty that people have established in their homes. Even if you just go into the city center, and you, especially in Europe, or well, everywhere, you can go to the old town where things got started in that city or town, and you can see the architecture and the doors and the art, and it's all just so, well, sometimes so different. I have a big passion for doors. I take pictures of doors everywhere, but there's some similarities, but there's beautiful individuality, and especially in places like India. I've never cruised actually to a port in India, but I've been to India, and I can imagine arriving in Mumbai or Cochin, and just the colors and the textures and the life, the amount of complexity in a beautiful place like that. When I went to Burano in Italy from Venice, the houses were all painted different colors, and I just wandered for as long as I could, taking pictures and just sitting, having coffee in the little cafes. So even on a cruise, when you've got just one day or 8 hours, you can experience so much of a place. And I think for me, it's like recognizing the threads, the little threads that connect us, especially fabric. I always try to look for a little scarf or some piece of fabric, because to me that not just represents the talent of the workers, but the traditions of that get passed down, from generation to generation. So, that's just some of the things that I love about cruising. And I hope that, especially if you're an older woman, over 50, I say older, what's old these days? It's not relevant. There's no age. But if you're someone who's now got an opportunity to travel, your children are maybe doing okay, and you feel you've got a little bit of money you can save, or you've been saving for some travel. I think travel is like the number one priority for women who are, quotes, retired, or, leaving their corporate jobs and moving forward. Anyway, I just encourage you to have a go. Have a go. Over time, we're going to try to have some She cruises, and get people together from different walks of life, different women who just have a love for travel and cruising. If you would like that, by the way, if you're interested in that, just leave your comments in the section below where you might like to cruise. But She Cruises is going to be a place where you can feel safe and in company of other women who love to be on the seas and have ideas about new ships or new kinds of cruises, themed, mini, whatever you do. But we'd love to know. Share your ideas with us, and we can then be supportive of each other. So anyway, that's why the reasons I love to travel and also to cruise, and maybe it's touched you a little bit too. So thanks everybody for being here. It's wonderful to have this opportunity, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon. Bye-bye for now.